Predictable publicity stunts from the Duke and Duchess of Delusion, which threaten to steal the limelight from the official proceedings. Now, no man knows more about all of this than the esteemed royal biographer of both King Charles and Meghan Markle, Tom Bower, who joins me.
The shiny image Prince Harry has tried to build since leaving royal duty is about to face its biggest collapse yet. Insider leaks say that investigative writer Tom Bower is holding a set of raw audio tapes. These secret recordings allegedly capture Meghan Markle in private moments, making comments so planned and so blunt that they could destroy every story she and Harry have shared with the world. And inside those tapes lies the most shocking claim of all. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video.
And evening, I think there's more to come.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think she's the master of the unexpected to deliver, and it's all expected. So I'm sure that when Harry is here, or just before he arrives, something else will come out of California.
The rented kids rumor, something Buckingham Palace once brushed off as online lies, is now reportedly tied to Meghan's own words. If these tapes are released, Harry's public life as he knows it could vanish within days. Not only because of what Meghan says, but also because of what it shows about Harry's role in allowing it. The prince, who vowed to protect his family at all costs, may instead be revealed as the man who stayed silent while his wife arranged secret deals that would shock the public. People close to the publishing industry are already talking.
It'll overshadow what the coronation is meant to be about, and not meant to be about her.
And our own Phil Dampier early in the show tonight revealing news that Harry has threatened that if...
The tapes are said to come from private conversations Meghan had with certain Hollywood and media insiders. No bright interview lights, no palace setting, no practiced smiles, just Meghan speaking openly about strategy, image control, and brand building. The recordings were reportedly made in relaxed but high-stakes situations, like private dinners, phone calls, and even quiet side talks at industry events. This was not Meghan performing for the public.
That he didn't want to come. I've always said on the programme, I didn't think they would come at all. I didn't think he would come, and I think he's looking for an excuse not to come, because I think quite clearly he has been put back into the guest list area of the Abbey rather than at the front. And I suspect he'll look for an excuse.
This was Meghan talking to people she trusted, believing her words would never be made public. And if Bower truly has these tapes, then someone in her circle must have broken her trust. Likely because what she said was too shocking to keep hidden. To the public, Meghan is seen as the polished perfectionist, with every hair perfect and every line carefully prepared to sound relatable. But in these supposed tapes, that mask is said to fall away.
So that's our view, but it's not theirs. They need the money, and they need it now more than ever because they've got no other source of income. So I think they're just stuck with the devil now. They're tied to Netflix, they're tied to their book, and all the criticism they're going to take means nothing.
What comes through is a voice not afraid to speak directly about what and who is useful to the Sussex brand. Insiders say she speaks in business-like terms. Who can help them get better publicity? Which deals are worth the money? And which contacts are no longer useful? It's the kind of private honesty that, once revealed, doesn't just damage reputations, it destroys trust. For years, critics said Meghan was a skilled manipulator. These tapes, if real, wouldn't just prove the claim. They would stand as the main evidence. This is the point where the story shifts from an image problem to moral outrage.
This was at the Henley Literary Festival, and she branded the couple D-list celebrities and said in Montecito their $14 million mansion is a humble cottage compared to what these other people have. And she added, at some point it might be more than a new house she's looking for. Elon Musk is still single. That's all I have to say. So do you agree with Tina Brown that there is...
The phrase rented kids has long been denied by Harry and Meghan's supporters as a cruel online conspiracy. But people who say they have heard the recordings claim that Meghan herself allegedly used similar words when talking about certain public events with Archie and Lilibet, not in the sense of actually renting children, but in describing how showing the kids in specific media moments gave good optics, strengthened the brand, and perfectly supported the story they wanted to tell in the court of public opinion.
Because that's the only way they can earn their money.
Very interesting, actually. I don't know if you saw this from Tina Brown, who was, of course, one of the last people to see Diana before her death. She said the Duke and the Duchess are
Those fine distinctions won't matter once the public believes you see your own children as PR props. Sympathy disappears instantly. And for Harry, who built his whole new life around protecting his family, that's not just a small dent in his image, it's a direct blow to the heart of his credibility. Even if Meghan was the one speaking, the bigger question is, what was Harry doing? Reports claim he was there for at least some of these talks, whether sitting in the same room or listening in on speakerphone. His silence, his nervous laughs, or even his total absence during key moments all raise the same uncomfortable point.
And she's having to make up for it now. And that's why I think, I think Tina is a great journalist, and perhaps she has inside information. I don't see how the Sussexes can give up both the Netflix and the book deal. They won't be living in a Montecito cottage, be more likely living somewhere in downtown LA, in a little hovel. That's their problem. They're stuck now. But, you know...
If these tapes ever go public, every word will be torn apart without mercy. And Harry's silence could easily be read as complicity. That's dangerous because complicity is career-ending. When your entire reinvention rests on being the principled rebel who walked away from the coldness of the royal machine. If the recordings suggest he knew about Torah, even tolerated the language around using the children for optics, then it's game over. The carefully built image of a loving, protective father, the shield he's carried since 2020, would collapse overnight. And the fallout from these alleged tapes wouldn't just play out in gossip columns or social media. It could ripple into something far more lasting.
behind what Meghan does. Obviously, you've written this book, Revenge, about her so recently, of course.
Well, of course, that has always been her motive. She's money obsessed and always has been. And that is why she married Prince Harry. A great surprise and disappointment was to discover that Prince Harry had very little money. She imagined he'd be worth hundreds of millions, if not billions.
It could even become legal trouble. Any careless words about contracts, business deals, or private talks could put the Sussexes in danger of breaking agreements. If the tapes mentioned staged events, fake stories in their shows, or charity work, that was not what it seemed. It could lead to lawsuits from partners, sponsors, or even past allies. And while Meghan might try to defend herself by saying it was just a joke or taken out of context, Harry has far less space to escape. Why? Because in every legal or public crisis they have faced, Harry has always put himself forward as the moral guide.
Signed agreement never to knock the royal family again. That's the only thing I can imagine would actually end this confrontation. But I can't see Meghan signing that deal. Meghan has got no interest whatsoever in giving way, being silent. She wants the battle. She wants to rubbish the royal family and go on to bigger things. So I think that
the image Harry built was that of the truth teller, the one exposing the cruelty of others. But if it turns out that behind closed doors he laughed along or stayed silent while questionable tactics were planned, the hypocrisy will be impossible to hide. For years, insiders at Buckingham Palace have hinted at why Harry and Meghan were never fully trusted within the royal system. They spoke of things we cannot say and situations we had to manage internally, but the details were always left unsaid.
The truth is about them that the only way I can conceive of Harry getting out of it now is if Charles would bail him out. Somehow he'd have to pay off Netflix, he'd have to pay off Random House's publishers. It would cost millions of dollars or pounds. But Harry might give that to him in return for...
If these alleged tapes are real, that silence suddenly makes sense. They would act as proof for why the palace always kept Harry and Meghan at a distance in decision-making, why they weren't fully trusted with important duties, and why their invitations to major royal events often came with conditions. For Harry, it's the worst-case scenario. Because if the palace can point to real, unfiltered examples of him and Meghan talking about their children and brand in these alleged ways, they won't even need to defend themselves. Public opinion will do it for them.
So they've got it in the can, so to speak. The only question now is whether they're prepared to dump it. I don't see why they should. I mean, this is their investment, and it'll come brilliantly at the end of the crown. Netflix is in battle with all the other streaming services. They want to now push their own product. They don't care, rightly so. If the
Sussexes have built a billion-dollar dream around their personal story. Survivors of royal cruelty, champions of mental health, and leaders in charity work. But a brand is only as strong as what the public believes, and belief is fragile. Big sponsors, streaming platforms, and charities have already been let down once by the couple's unpredictability. These alleged tapes could push that cautious distance into a full retreat. Imagine Netflix.
This battle is going to go on. Hostilities have resumed, I think.
And that's the problem, isn't it, Tom? You know, they have signed this deal with the Hollywood devil, in this case, Netflix, and Netflix is now demanding its pound of flesh. They're not happy with this woke children's TV series.
Or Penguin Random House deciding they can no longer risk their money. Imagine charity partners quietly pulling their names from joint projects. It wouldn't be a slow decline. It would be a sudden collapse, because when your personal brand is also your business, losing trust is like losing air. Harry's emotional value has always been tied to his image as a loyal husband and father. That's why the public forgave his recklessness, his constant exposure, even the contradictions in his claims about privacy
That Meghan wanted to do in some sort of twee documentary that Harry was planning about the Invictus Games. They want the dirt on the royal family, don't they, Tom?
Well, I think they've got the dirt. I mean, they've been filming now for more than a year. And I'm sure that everything that Harry spewed out to the ghostwriter for the book, he gave Netflix to, plus a lot more.
But the moment the public believes you've turned your children into brand assets, the story flips from protective father to opportunist. And here's the cruel truth. Outrage over children being used as PR tools cuts across politics, borders, and cultures. The backlash wouldn't just come from tabloids, but from mainstream media, parenting groups, and even celebrity allies too scared to be linked to the scandal. This isn't just bad press, it's reputational Chernobyl. And if anyone doubts Tom Bower would release something this explosive, they haven't studied his record. He doesn't deal in flimsy gossip. His past exposes have been packed with verified interviews, timelines, and paper trails that made lawsuits almost impossible. If these tapes exist, you can be sure he's vetted them, cross-checked them, and prepared the legal shield to release them without fear. And if that happens, there will be no spin, no friendly press to soften the blow, just raw audio for the world to hear. This is the part Harry may not see yet. If the tapes surface, there will be no olive branches, no secret Christmas invitations, no quiet reconciliation. The bridge back to the royals won't just be burned, it'll be reduced to ash. The monarchy will protect itself. If the public hears even a hint of Meghan's alleged rented kids remarks and believes Harry stood by, the palace will cut ties immediately. For Harry, that could mean more than exile from royal duty. It could mean exile from his family itself. And when the world sees a prince stripped of prestige, abandoned by Hollywood, and distrusted by his own blood, the Sussex saga may not end in redemption. It may end as a cautionary tale.